Hello, welcome to Back to School Night. My name is Shannon Dalcerri-Wells, and I go by Mrs. Wells, and I am a sixth grade math and science teacher. And here you can see my email, which you can email me through Otis. And also, I do have a Google Voice if you would prefer to text me or leave me a message. And it's right here on the screen, 530-492-5558. And it's okay to give that number to your children. They can also contact me through that number. A little bit about me. I grew up in Santa Barbara County, specifically in Lompoc, here in California. And I got my bachelor's degree in business administration at Chico. And then I got my teaching credential at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And then just this past year, I went back to school and got a credential in administration and just finished that in June. I've lived here in Placer County for 16 years. I lived in Colfax for a while, and then now I live in Auburn. And I've been teaching for 21 years. This is my 21 years. And before I was teaching in Roseville City, I was teaching in Paso Robles. I've mostly taught elementary school. I taught fourth grade for years and years and years, and I've taught third grade and fifth grade. And last year was my first year at Chilton teaching sixth grade math and science, and I loved it, loved Chilton, and I think your children are going to love it too. There are some materials that will help your child be successful while they are learning in math and science. It's nice to have some sort of scratch paper. Binder paper works well. Graph paper works well. And then it's nice to have highlighters, pens, pencils. Whiteboard markers are they really need those. If you could get a hold of some of those, that would be really nice. Pencil sharpeners handy, scissors, glue sticks, colored pencils and or markers, and then erasers for their pencils, and then also for their whiteboard. And they can use either a like a rag or an old sock. So anything like that is really handy for the whiteboards. Ruler comes in handy. They won't specifically need a ruler for science or math this trimester, but they are really nice to have. And if it's really good for math and science if they have the metric system on it, if they have centimeters. And then they're Math Links packets. That's our math curriculum. There are these little packets. There should be about 16 of them, and then a couple resource packets. And we'll let the students know which packets we're working on, but they'll need a nice, safe place to put them and store them when before we get to them, because it's the entire year's packets that we sent home. We also sent home a sheet protector with a piece of cardstock in it. And what that's for is a whiteboard. So I could ask the students a question and they could write on it with a whiteboard marker and show me. And then I can look during the Zoom. I can kind of check for understanding that way. And so that's what that sheet protector is, with the piece of cardstock in it. And you didn't receive a textbook in science. Science is all online. The only thing I sent home for science was a baggie of some laundry detergent, which will be used for an experiment later. But everything else that we do will be done online. There's a lot of fun simulations. Science was really fun, even during our distance teaching. We had a good time. Some expectations. Each student will make at least a year's growth, and daily attendance is required now. This is different than our crisis teaching in the spring. This is the real deal. So if your child's going to miss class, either partially or for a full day, you do need to call the office and let the office know. And then, of course, we expect work to be completed, because grades will be given even during this distance teaching. And daily student engagement is expected. I do expect the children to be online every day for each period. Grading, I'm going to send you more information on grading later, but I'll just give you a little overview right now. So reporting is broken down into two categories. We have the academic content, the math and science, and then we have learning behaviors. So for the academic content, it's broken down into summative scores. Summative scores are tests and projects that are going to be used to calculate the final grade in the class. Then we have formative scores, and there's more formative scores than there are summative scores. Formative scores get posted in Otis, but they don't go towards the final grade. Formative scores just kind of let the student and you and me know how they're doing right now. It's kind of like a little snapshot. And so I can see how they're doing, and I can then base my next instruction on how the students are doing. So it informs me. So formative scores are to inform us. And then, some things that get graded, tests, quizzes, projects, the assignment pages will have some Google Forms and different things that are graded, and then some labs in science. So those are the academic scores. Now our learning behavior scores, we only have 2 this year. If you had a middle schooler last year, you'll remember that there were 3 different learning behavior grades, but this year it's just engagement and work completion. And those scores that you'll see for those are consistent, sometimes, and rarely. Our daily schedule, Monday has a different schedule than on Tuesdays through Fridays. So every day, Monday through Friday, school starts at 9:05. On Monday, school gets out at 1:53. On Tuesdays through Friday, it gets out at 3:14. Now, I recommend, or I require, I guess, that your child log on and be ready to go at the beginning of each period. And then, because whole class live instruction will be approximately the first 20 minutes of the class. And then afterwards, I will either work with small groups or do some individual check-ins, or maybe your child should be working with a group, or I could also, sometimes they're going to be working independently. They'll get off the Zoom, work independently, and then we'll come back most likely at the end of the period just to check in and see how everyone was doing. Oh, and then we have what's called a no PAW and a PAW schedule. So PAW is our intervention period, and that won't start till maybe a few weeks, maybe a month. And once that starts, it's most of the school year. And when that schedule changes, we'll let you know. It doesn't change the start time of school, and it doesn't change the end time of school, but it will change the times of the different periods, because we're going to start the day with our intervention, and it might be enrichment too. So your child might be in enrichment instead of intervention. So there's some daily class expectations. It's always helpful to have a healthy breakfast, but make sure to show up to class ready to learn, have all the materials ready to go, and then log into Otis first thing. Check the classroom announcements, be prepared for the live instruction. And these are instructions for your child, not necessarily for you, but just so you kind of know what's expected of your child. And they'll need to log into their meetings, their live instruction on time, because attendance will be taken. And then we put these Zoom links in our Google Calendar, which is on our class boards in Otis. But I've also put an announcement with the links, so they could just go to our class board and then click on the link for the time And that's a little easier than going through the calendar, but I'll show your children how to go through the calendar too. Their mics should be muted unless they are speaking or asked a question in the chat. And when entering class, we expect the students to be immediately working. And I will always I'll be sharing my screen and there'll be an assignment up, and that's what they should work on as right when they enter. And of course, we want the class to participate and have fun, and just remember that this is new for all of us. We need to take some risks and try some new things and learn from our mistakes, and then absolutely show grace to others and to ourselves, because there'll probably be a lot of hiccups. Also, some tips for success are to make sure the device gets charged nightly, so it's all ready to go for the day. And then show up to class following the school dress code. Get a good night's sleep, stay hydrated. And if during class your child's feeling tired or really stiff, I know I will, then go ahead and get up, move around, have a little stretch, just keep the volume on so you can hear what's going on in class and see what's going on. But it's okay to be standing up, not a problem. Be positive. If they're going to be speaking to the class, be really mindful and respectful of others. And if you finish early, we want the students to push themselves, practice more problems, be creative, go above and beyond what's expected. We owe it to ourselves to reach for our full potential. All communication this year is going to be through Otis, which is really handy. So there's not going to be all these different ways to contact the teachers or to find the teachers. Just send us a message through Otis. I did also give a Google Voice number, so you are welcome to use that. I know sometimes it's just easier. The students sometimes find it easier just to text me. And if you email me or text me or send me a message, I will get back to you in the next 24 hours for sure. If you want to set up a meeting, I'm available on most days at 8:30 and then also at 3:30 for meetings. So just contact me and we'll set up a time to meet. And that's the same with your children. If they need to meet with me, that's the same times that I can meet with them. And also, I'd like you to follow us on Instagram. We have a 6th grade page, and you'll see it's Chilton_6th grade_. Nope, I said that wrong. It's Chilton_6th_ grade. So please follow us, and if your children are on Instagram, let them follow us too. It's just a way to share and celebrate what's going on in 6th grade. So that's actually the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, please contact me. Again, you'll be hearing from us soon of more about grading. Didn't want to overwhelm you. And we're going to have a good year. It's going to be okay. But please let me know whatever I can do to help your child with math and science.